Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Ian Wright identifies the Arsenal player Manchester City targeted. Ian Wright believes Manchester City targeted Gabriel Magalhaes when they faced Arsenal in their last Premier League game. The top of the table clash between both clubs was a chance for Arsenal to earn another win and pull clear of the defending champions. However, City started well and took the lead before Bukayo Saka equalized for the Gunners to draw level. The citizens would eventually score two more goals, to which Arsenal had no reply, and the game ended 3-1, a defeat for the Gunners. Speaking after the fixture, Wright said via The Sun, "We were very fortunate that he didn't give away a penalty because he was offside, but for me, the pass for a Grealish goal is into nowhere. City are setting traps for him there, and as soon as they win the ball, bang, they get the ball back, and Haaland's awareness for a striker was very good because he could have easily had a shot, but he's made sure that he passed it on so that they definitely get the goal and go in front. For me, it came down to a bit of naivety and inexperience, but they are the youngest team in the league and you are going to get those types of mistakes." City were well prepared for that game and dealt with most of our players like champions will do. The game was always going to be difficult for us, and now we are no longer at the top of the table. It could be a good thing, and our fans just need to trust the players and keep supporting them to get back to winning ways. Odegaard insists Arsenal continue to take the season one game at a time. Arsenal midfielder Martin Odegaard insists they will continue to take the season one game at a time after losing the top spot in the Premier League to Manchester City. The Gunners have been the best club in England for much of this season, but have dropped points in their last matches. Odegaard is unfazed by the defeat and insists their approach remains one game at a time. The midfielder said via the Daily Mail, "It's football. Sometimes the chances go in, sometimes not, but that is where we need to improve and be more clinical and defend our box. That is not just about one player, but the whole team. As we have said all season, work hard and take it game by game. It's the same now. It's one game we have lost here, and now we look to the next one. We have overachieved this season and remain in a good position to end the campaign in fine fashion. The loss to Everton and Manchester City shows we have shortcomings, but it should not make us worry too much because we never expected to go the entire season unbeaten. Our focus should be on the next game, and if we get a win, some of our confidence will return." Arteta delivers Jorginho verdict. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta praised Jorginho in his pre-match presser ahead of the Aston Villa clash. The Gunners boss told Football London that the January signing has earned the respect of everybody at the club. Arsenal signed Jorginho for a reported £12 million from Chelsea last month. The 31-year-old Italy international signed an 18-month contract with an option to extend for a further year. And with Thomas Partey finding himself on the sidelines, Jorginho now already has a major role at Arsenal. The Ghana international was ruled out of Wednesday's meeting with Manchester City. This led to Jorginho making his first start for Arsenal, and he went on to deliver a truly impressive performance against Pep Guardiola's man. On the subject of Jorginho, Arteta said, "He is really good. He's come into the team and earned the respect of everybody. You see his leadership and his impact he's had on the team. I think he had a really good game." Jorginho joined Arsenal to a mixed reaction from the fan base, but he is already justifying the club's outlay. Partey has suffered from injuries and knocks throughout his time with the Gunners. With that in mind, bringing solid cover was essential, and Jorginho's presence in the squad lessens the impact caused by Partey's absence. Already it looks like £12 million well spent as the season goes on. Hopefully, he can help Arsenal return to the top of the table and stay there. Arsenal is keen to sign Bundesliga attacker Jesper Lindstrom. Arsenal has shown an impressive willingness to improve their squad this season, and Mikel Arteta's side has identified a new man to add to their group. A report on Sport 1 reveals they have a serious interest in the signature of Jesper Lindstrom of Eintracht Frankfurt. The Dane has been on the Gunners' radar for some time now, but they could not add him to their squad at the start of the season. In the summer, his future would be the subject of interest from several clubs again, and one of them is Mikel Arteta's side. The Gunners would compete with other clubs, and the report says Frankfurt has set a huge asking price for his signature. At 22, Lindstrom is at an age that we can easily mold him into one of the finest players around when we can add him to our squad. The winger has continued to show good form, and we have the rest of the season to see if he will fit into what we want to achieve at the Emirates. Arteta has good judgment, and if he believes the attacker is good enough for his side, we can back his decision because he has proven to be one of the best talent managers around. Arsenal have long-standing interest in Warren Emery. Arsenal have a long-standing interest in Paris Saint-Germain starlet Warren Emery, who has recently burst onto the scene. The 16-year-old started for PSG in their Champions League last 16 first leg clash with Bayern München on Tuesday night. They went down 1-0 at home, but the fact that the teenager got the nod on such a big night is a show of his talent, which Arsenal has been aware of for a long time. That is according to journalist Miguel Delaney in his weekly Reading the Game column, who says that the midfielder's progress has surprised a lot of clubs, but not Arsenal. He wrote, "Many around Europe were stunned when, after so much expenditure, Paris Saint-Germain started a mere 16-year-old in Warren Emery for their biggest game of the season so far. Some see it in the context of the Qatari owners desiring more academy products in the team. Arsenal were one club who won't have been surprised, though they have long-standing interest in the midfielder who looked a talent beyond his years." Joe Cole was on punditry duty for BT Sport on Tuesday night's game and shared how impressed he was with the 16-year-old, comparing him to Wayne Rooney. "He is an incredible talent," Cole said. "Physically, he reminds me of Wayne Rooney, the size of his thighs at just 16. He is a man already. We were talking about his mindset. Usually, when you score your first goal, you lost your mind completely, but he just strolls away, cool as you like. It seems unlikely PSG will let one of the jewels in their crown go, but you never know. With the French champions, and the Gunners will likely be watching his career with interest." Carlo Ancelotti says he doesn't care whether Arsenal target Marco Asensio leaves the club. Carlo Ancelotti has claimed that he doesn't care if Arsenal target Marco Asensio leaves the club. A report from Vigaches recently claimed that Arsenal were looking to submit an offer to sign Real Madrid attacking midfielder Asensio. The Spanish international is said to be out of contract at the end of the season and doesn't appear to be close to signing an extension, particularly after hearing Ancelotti's recent comments. He said, as quoted by Goal, "He looks good to me. I don't know if he will stay or not. He may or may not stay. I don't know. I don't care too much. We have a very important challenge this season. The important thing is that he is contributing like last year. Let him continue like this, and the club will make the most appropriate decision." Asensio isn't exactly the first name on the team sheet at Real Madrid, and it appears Ancelotti isn't going to beg a player to stay at the club. If a player doesn't want to be at Madrid, then so be it. Ancelotti has a wealth of talent to choose from and plenty of funds to bring in new options, so you'd imagine Real Madrid hold all the cards in negotiations. However, Asensio should have a fair amount of offers at the end of the season, with the clubs looking to pick him up on a free transfer. Bernardo Silva says Arsenal reminds him of a previous Man City side. Manchester City attacker Bernardo Silva has praised Arsenal for how good they have been this season and insists Mikel Arteta's side reminds him of the City team of 2018. The Gunners have surprisingly challenged City for the Premier League this season, despite not finishing inside the top 4 in the last term. City has just reclaimed the top spot after beating the Gunners in the Premier League, but Silva has nothing but praise for the Londoners. The Portugal international said via The Sun, "Arsenal have a great team with a lot of energy. We will fight until the end, knowing that we are going to fight against a very tough side that reminds me of us 5 years ago. We have been one of the top sides in Europe this season and deserve credit for how we have performed so far. However, no one will remember us if we do not win a trophy before this campaign ends. Winning the Premier League would be tough, but we can secure the Europa League if we maintain our level of performance in that competition. We must get back to winning when next we are on the pitch, otherwise our season could fade away. Arsenal is watching inform England forward Marcus Rashford. Arsenal is reportedly circling Manchester United striker Marcus Rashford as the striker continues to score goals on a regular basis. Rashford is in the form of his life right now and has scored in his last 4 consecutive matches for United. The England star has 12 goals from his first 23 league games this term. This makes him one of the hottest strikers in the league, and it's almost certain he will score more goals before the term ends. He is out of contract at the end of next season after the Red Devils triggered a 1-year extension on his deal at the club. This does not secure his long-term future, and a report on Football Insider reveals the Englishman is being targeted by the Gunners. Mikel Arteta is reportedly a huge fan of Rashford and would jump at the chance to add the attacker to his squad from the end of the season. Rashford has been one of the most informed strikers in Europe this season, and we will be in a much better position if he was in our squad. However, it would be hard to land the attacker because United would be embarrassed to lose their main goal scorer to a title rival. Manchester City working behind the scenes to sign Declan Rice ahead of Arsenal. Manchester City are working behind the scenes on potential new midfielders and could move to beat Arsenal to signing Declan Rice. Rice is said to be the subject of a bidding war this summer. Arsenal and Chelsea are believed to be the 2 main clubs wanting to sign the Englandman. However, the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City also hold an interest. And now, according to 90 Minute, Pep Guardiola and Manchester City could also put their hat in the ring to sign Rice. 90 Minute reports that City are working hard behind the scenes as they plan a midfield overhaul. It suggested that Calvin Phillips faces an uncertain future, while Ilkay Gundogan is another who is also known to be potentially on the move. Pep Guardiola is said to be a fan of Rice's ability to get from box to box. Dubbed world class by Ian Wright for a recent West Ham performance, Rice is set to fetch over £100 million in the summer window. Rice is thought to be open to finally leaving the Hammers this summer. The England star is keen on playing Champions League football. That, of course, could throw a spanner in the works for clubs like Liverpool or Chelsea. City, meanwhile, can offer that to Rice, not to mention a healthy contract. Once again, it looks like Arsenal are going to be facing problems in attracting their biggest transfer targets. Declan Rice is the one they want, but it looks like others are going for it as well. City are always an attractive proposition for any player. The chance to work with Guardiola, the chance to win trophies, and of course, the chance to get a huge contract on big money. Rice faces a big choice this summer, but if City do come knocking, he will find it hard to say no. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.